Hello, Lennart. You've been making the past couple of weeks. You've been busy with an assignment uh, for cross-cultural data literacy. And what did you exactly do?
Well, I got my inspiration from Dollar Street, website you recommended actually. There you can see all people's homes and see how much they earn, and it really gives an overview of what people's homes look like. And that inspired me to do something similar, but a little smaller. So I asked a lot of friends of mine to send me pictures of their fridges. So the assignment was to think about a data visualization about health, and I thought I thought that nutrition says a lot about someone's health, and so the idea started.
So you ask your friends, from all over the world, to send a picture of their fridge to you.
Yeah, that's right. Now also,
and did you give some instructions of how to make the picture?
No, I did not. Not when I first sent out the request. Later on, when some people started asking, like, should I take it in portrait or should I take my professional camera? But that's not necessary. I actually got it to work with all kinds of pictures.
So this was one data set you collected yourself.
Yeah.
Did you use? Of course, I think you also used other data.
I started out searching for data to get an overview of people's diets all around the world. So that's in the visualization. Eventually, you can see what products people have in their fridges and compare that to what kind of nutritions are consumed there most. So I found a data set online, which is on the website. It's called ourworldindata.org. And on that website, there's a lot of data sets about all kinds of things. But all those data sets are data sets for people all around the world. So that made it interesting. And for this assignment, I wanted to make a globe showing all the fridges all those people have. So a worldwide data set was what I needed. Yeah,
maybe you can show us the result.
Yeah, the visualization is actually online now. So what you see here is a globe. It's spinning around when you first visit the page, but you can drag the globe and zoom in and scroll to zoom in certain areas and explore people's fridges. So here's some fridges, and when you click those, you get a bigger picture of what's in there. And so you can see what people eat all around the world. And I also added the data set with the separate categories of nutrition. So you can compare what people eat in different places. So later on, I also wanted to add the birth dates of the people that upload their fridges, so you can also see how old those people are. Because that's, I think that will have an impact on what people buy as well.
Yeah.
And I also added a button in the right corner. It doesn't really work yet, but eventually you can upload your own fridge here as well. So that will be possible in the future.
So like that, the data set is growing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And can you, if you zoom out a little bit, so we can see the scale at the bottom a bit better.
Yeah.
So you can click one of the categories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can see the scale is
it goes from white to blue for this one, for example. So it goes from 0 to 1,000 calories per day. And the size of the bar in the middle, it gets bigger when the overall consumption of that kind of nutrition is bigger all around the world. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it this way. I might want to rethink that because it's not that obvious how that works.
Yeah, because you really have to think about how this works. So I see the bar at the bottom with cereals and grains is a lot wider than with alcoholic beverages, for example.
Yeah.
So that means that there are more calories worldwide, more calories consumed by eating cereals and grains instead of
exactly.
by drinking alcohol. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
as you
it's
can
a
imagine,
bit small as well and a bit cramped in the bottom. So in the next design round, you would try to do that.
And I also want to add some contrast so that you can still see it when you zoom in.
I really like it because it's so interactive and it's moving. So you really feel like you're traveling the world.
Yeah.
And
It would actually be easy to add other data sets as well. You can also just copy it and change the data, make people add pictures of what they eat, or have them make pictures of their homes. So it's all built within Svelte. It's a JavaScript framework that makes it possible to quite quickly set up an environment with server routes and build a data visualization and split it up in multiple components. So what you see here is the add button, which is an individual component. You have the modal, so that's the let me show you. That's this part.
Oh yeah.
So it makes the backgrounds fade to dark, and it just adds the form. It's the second time I've been working with Svelte. I work a lot with other frameworks, but this one seemed really interesting. And for another project I did, I just followed the tutorial that is online. There's a really nice online interactive tutorial where you can just start out with the basics and go further when you need to know more or just find how stuff is done. It's not exactly necessary to use Svelte. You could also just have one HTML document. One of the resources that is actually mandatory is D3. So that's one of the most used libraries for data visualizations. When you get the hang of it, it's quite easy. So on top of your code, we import D3, so you can use that library. And this looks a bit complicated, I can imagine. But there's a lot of examples online. On this page, on Servable HQ, you can see all kinds of data visualizations. And when I click this one, for example, you can just see the code that is used to create it.
Yeah.
And the way that it works, you can just try it out in there. It's all in a Github repository. So you can actually, from there, you can fork the code and just transform it to build your own data visualization. I will add later on I will add a README showing more information about how to make this project your own. But in here there's a source folder, and that actually contains all the code I have. So when you fork this repository or download it, you can actually run it yourself and make modifications to try things out, or maybe just see how I've set it up.
So people are interested in it, they can look at your project documentation page.
We can share the link to the documentation, the link to the Github repository, and the link to the data visualization.
As well, from the design part, you made a couple of variations, I think.
Yeah, I actually copied this globe, or the logic for that. Later on I added a different data set to build up all the countries. So the one I used is a little more detailed. Then the second version, I changed the colors. I stripped the Svelte framework boilerplate from all the stuff that wasn't necessary. And then in the third version, I added navigation, the data set, the skills. And for this last version, I changed the styling a lot.
And I see a couple of countries are gray.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean they're not in the data set or something?
Yeah.
We don't have data on these countries,
Yeah, the data set I found about all these types of nutritions doesn't include those countries. Not sure why. Probably because it's countries that don't have a data set like that they could use. Or
Thanks a lot, Lennart, for sharing this.
No problem.
I think it worked out great.